Life Prep is designed to help make decisions for your parents or yourself a little easier. Hi, I'm your host, John Klein. When our parents get along in age, many of us assume power of attorney in order to help keep them secure. Is power of attorney what you think it is? Sometimes it isn't any power at all. Here to help give us a little life prep on what to do, Jim Shields and Tom Boris from Shields and Boris Elder Care Attorneys. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, John.
Jim, before we get started, give us a little background on your law firm.
Well, in 1992, when I was in my third year of law school at Notre Dame, my mom suddenly passed away. And since I was in law school, the family came to me and asked, what do we do? Well, they teach you how to read in law school, they teach you how to write, but they don't teach you what to do when a loved one dies. So I had to rely on others to walk me through the process and what had to be done. Over the years, we've created a firm that helps people walk down this same path, not only when someone passes away, but help them along when they have some health issues.
Tom, I assume there are mistakes that are common and most people make them. What are the most common mistakes that you guys discover daily?
Well, absolutely. Mistakes are made on a daily basis. Most of the time it's unintentional, but for the most part, a lot of families out there fail to plan for their future long-term care needs. They fail to plan for the issue of probate. A lot of people may have created revocable living trust and basically have false sense of security as to what that document actually can or will do for them. Some people have what we consider to be powerless power of attorneys. And then finally, the big mistake people make is procrastination, just putting things off.
And that has to be very common. I'll get to it, and all of a sudden, sometimes too late.
Oh, absolutely.
What is the risk of that most retirees face from long-term care?
In very simple terms, basically going broke. I mean, the cost of skilled care in a long-term care facility today averages $8,400 a month. So that's almost $100,000 a year. And without proper planning, you'll have to spend on your entire estate to possibly $2,400 before you qualify for medical assistance. So our job is to help create plans so that your family doesn't have to lose everything that they've worked their entire life to accumulate.
Is that a big eye-opener when a lot of your clients come in and talk for the very first time?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, a lot of people think that Medicare is going to cover the cost, or their supplemental insurance is going to cover their costs for care. And that's simply not the case.
You mentioned the word probate. Can you explain what that means? I'm sure a lot of people have heard it and they don't know exactly what probate means.
Probate is a process where a court decides when someone passes who's in charge, who the beneficiaries are, and what creditors get paid or may not get paid. The reason probate exists, the best example I can give, Grandma passed away and she was a widow and she owns a house. When the family goes to sell the house, someone has to sign a deed. Obviously, Grandma wasn't going to be there to sign it. So essentially, you go through the probate process, having the court appoint somebody to have the authority to sign Grandma's name so that title can be cleared and that deed can be transferred. The problem with that is it takes time and it costs money.
Is this something that people can plan ahead to avoid going through the courts deciding the future of Grandma's estate?
Correct. With proper planning, you can put things in place to contractually, through trust or otherwise, give somebody authority over your assets after you pass to avoid that process, which saves time and saves money.
A revocable living trust, are there problems with that, or is that something that most people should look into?
Well, I tell you what, the two common problems that we find, number one, the revocable living trust is primarily designed to deal with your estate upon death. And unfortunately, there's language in the trust, in most trusts, we consider to be bear trap language. And this language essentially will trap all the trust assets in that trust to be used to spend for your long-term care, heaven forbid, should you need care. And that limits us as to plan strategies that we can use to help shelter your assets. So that's the first issue. The second big problem is a majority of trusts that we've reviewed have not been funded, meaning